Hey y'all, this is Tasha and welcome back to Amazing Reads. Today I'm here as a part of the Hear Our Voices blog tour to talk about Superpowered. Tsabary is an interactive book geared towards teenagers to help them deal with the different levels of anxiety that they experience just by existing. And there are there's photographs in here, there's full page spreads in here, there's different let's see if I can show them. There's different interactive things in here, there are full page illustrations in here, and it just kind of goes through all the emotions that you typically feel just as anyone with anxiety, really, not just even teenagers. And it validates those feelings and it helps you to have techniques that help you recognize them and then overcome them. I really like books like this that are more like a workbook with narratives in it. There's anecdotes at the beginning of every story. It talks about test anxiety. It talks about general anxiety as a teenager, trying to be the best that you want to be as a teenager, thinking that you have to have everything figured out, which is totally not even close to what you need to do. What I really enjoyed the most about this book is that it validated those feelings of anxiety so you did not feel alone. And then it didn't just have a technique that was just like, oh, if you do this, you're cured. Well, no, it didn't do that. What it actually did was it was like, this is going to be a battle. Anxiety is going to be a battle. However, if you keep working and doing these things, you'll be able to live with your anxiety. And that's what I really enjoyed about this. There were even some techniques that I could take away. I'm not close to being a teenager. However, there were some techniques in here and different activities that I really thought would be effective for anyone who's dealing with anxiety, as I do and a bunch of other people do, and especially in these times. Something else that this book was able to do was that it was able to identify some things that you don't necessarily associate with anxiety, and such as overthinking, and it gave you ways to cope with that too. I know for me, I'm an overthinker and overplanner, and I don't like things to not go the way that they are. Although I am better at accepting those things now, it's still very difficult for me, and it's a major source of frustration for me when things don't go the way that they are supposed to go. But recognizing that as a symptom of my anxiety, I thought that that was very well done in here, and it was something that I had never thought twice about, that my over organizing and my overthinking and over planning was a way for me to cope with my anxiety. And I never would have thought of that at all, and how that can really be an additional source for your anxiety. So I liked when they talked about that. Some of the activities in here, you could tell that they were geared towards the younger audience. So for me as an adult reading this, they were kind of cheesy. However, I think that what made those good though was that this book could be put in the hands of somebody as young as 10 or, as old as 16, 17, and they could both get something out of this. Also, I think that if you have a child who's dealing with anxiety, that this would be a really good book to have in your collection and have them just kind of read through and work through these things, notate things that you would find in them or that you see in them, and help them to identify these things, come to grip with those things, and figure out how to handle those things. I know for sure that this will be a resource that I use with my son, because he does deal with anxiety also. And I think that there's a lot of things in here that he may be reluctant to do, but I think that will be effective for him to do to help cope with his anxiety, because we're getting to that age. He's 11. Also, I think my favorite part was the ending of this, where it was just like, okay, well, we've taught you all of these things that you can do, but don't think that you're magically cured. And I really like that, because the self-help genre tends to be like, if you do these things, you'll get better. And the realistic approach of this, for them to be like, no, like you're going to be dealing with anxiety, and there's no finish line that you can reach. However, using these techniques, you can live a less anxious life, and be able to cope with things when they come up, and be able to recognize them for what they are, and use these techniques to help you to better cope with these things and get through the feelings that you are having. There is talks of so much in here. I'm a little all over the place, because it's so packed with so much for it to be less than, I think it's like right at 300 pages, including the notes and stuff. They packed so much in here, and I did not feel like they were talking down to the reader. I didn't feel like they were offering a cure-all, and I really did think that this is one of the best self-help books that I've ever read, and I've read quite a few, even from like Christian nonfiction to things like this, and ways to cope and deal with things. And at the end, I'm always like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm cured. But I didn't have that feeling here, and I like the way that they addressed that. I have already recommended this to several people I know in my real life, and told them that they definitely should check this out, because it's a book that can grow with your preteen and your teenager, and it's something that they could get something out of every time that they pick this book up. So I want to thank Hear Our Voices blog tour and the publisher for sending me this finished copy. And that's all that I have for now. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.